Well, at the close of 2022, the Environmental Protection Agency, along with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, announced the finalization of a new definition for waters of the United States, or WOTUS. Here with more on what this means for cattle producers is Mary Thomas Hart in this week's Beltway Beef Spotlight.
2022 was a pretty quiet year on the WOTUS front, but that all changed on December 30th when the EPA and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers announced the finalization of the Biden administration's WOTUS definition. WOTUS stands for Waters of the U.S. and categorizes the water features across the United States that are subject to federal Clean Water Act permitting requirements. In the past, NCBA has looked for three specific features of any WOTUS definition. One, how are isolated features treated? Two, how are ephemeral features treated, or those features that really only carry water after a rain or snow event? And three, does the definition include vital agricultural exemptions to ensure that those features on operations are exempt from federal regulation? Out of the Biden rule, we got 1 out of 3. So the Biden administration's rule includes some really helpful exemptions for agricultural features, including some ditches, stock ponds, and prior converted cropland. However, the rule leaves open the possibility for the federal government to regulate both isolated features and ephemeral features. In finalizing their rule, the Biden administration attempted to find some middle ground between the 2015 Obama rule and the 2020 Trump administration's Navigable Waters Protection Rule. If you remember, in 2015, the Obama rule regulated all tributaries, including ephemeral features, all isolated features, and all interstate features. The Trump administration worked hard to pull back some of that federal jurisdiction and clearly excluded all ephemeral and isolated features. In attempting to find middle ground between the Trump and Obama rules, the Biden administration provided the federal government ability to conduct case-by-case determinations when it comes to ephemeral and isolated features. This means for landowners, including farmers and ranchers across the nation, that any of their features might be subject to federal jurisdiction, but it's unclear without a jurisdictional determination. While the Biden administration hoped to find something that would be satisfactory for farmers and ranchers, they in fact finalized a rule that will be much more resource, time, and cost intensive for landowners. NCBA and other national agricultural organizations across the nation have litigated the definition of WOTUS in the past, both fighting the 2015 Obama rule and defending the 2020 Trump rule. NCBA continues to assess whether it will litigate the final Biden administration's rule, but has engaged in other litigation efforts. In 2022, NCBA filed an amicus brief in the Supreme Court case Sackett versus EPA, which is the Supreme Court's fourth opportunity to directly consider the definition of WOTUS. This case is still pending and is likely to receive an opinion in about April 2023 or later this spring. If the Supreme Court's opinion in the Sackett case differs from the EPA regulatory definition, then we'll once again be at conflict over the definition of WOTUS, and EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers will have to go back to the drawing board. So in sum, there's a lot happening in the WOTUS world right now and a lot to come in 2023. To follow this and other important issues to the cattle industry, go to policy.ncba.org and don't forget to join NCBA today.
And that's why it's so important to support the work that's being done by NCBA to protect all of us in agriculture from this and other regulatory overreaches. To become a member, just call 1-866-233-3872 or visit the website ncba.org.